due to technical difficulties, this program is joined in progress.
Over the last month. And we can start off. We do know that the Amtrak president has been fired. Yay! And they actually came out with a list, but it does involve a couple of people who helped him get fired. Okay, Stephen Gardner is stepping down as of March 19th. Amtrak announced he was stepping down as CEO, corporate speak for getting fired. A Washington Post story indicated he had been asked to resign by the White House. Prior to joining Amtrak, Gardner served as a staff member for the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. He helped develop the rail transportation policy that included authoring a Passenger Rail Investment and Improvement Act of 2008. Joining Amtrak in 2009, he started serving in various leadership roles, including EVP, Chief Operating Commercial Officer, from May 2019 to November 2020. He was named president on December 1st, 2020, and became CEO on January 17th, 2022. Roger Harris, who was appointed as president on the July 5th, 2022, will lead the company until a new CEO is named. And they even put a list of pros and cons on Gardner. Significant events during Gardner's 4.25 years, 10 years Amtrak's leader. He co-led with William Flynn between 12/1/20 and 1/17/22 include receipt of $1.69 billion FRA grant to sustain operations during the COVID-19 crisis, which caused temporary ridership losses as high as 75%. Awarded $66 billion for infrastructure projects as part of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act signed into law on November 15th, 2021. Contracts awarded at the beginning Gateway Program, the new Hudson Tunnel between New York and New Jersey. Contracts awarded to begin Baltimore Penn Station rehabilitation, Frederick Douglass Tunnel Project in Baltimore, groundbreaking on the Connecticut River Bridge, replacement of the old Saybrook East Line, breaking ground for the Portal North Bridge, co-managed by New Jersey Transit, order for 83 Aero train sets during 2022-6, establishment of new service to Burlington, Vermont, St. Paul, Minnesota. Additional trains added to Newport News, Norfolk and Roanoke, Virginia, in partnership with Virginia Rail Passenger Authority. Blunders, some of which started when Amtrak was led by Richard Anderson as CEO, and William Flynn, 2020 to 2022, include not taking proper measures to protect equipment that was taken out of service beginning in 2022 due to COVID-19 ridership losses, not keeping extra equipment at major terminals. Oh. And his list goes on and on and on. So, he does have it.
He's gone.
He gone bye-bye. Beginning news of the week. Mother Day's weekend was a rousing success for the Botanic Garden. And in particular for the Ronald Railroad Garden in the Botanic. And people were definitely waiting for it to open up.
How long has this now been running? For how many years? Yes.
I believe 12 years,
12 years?
15 years.
I think it 2005 was that opened?
Yeah.
Because that's when we invited people to go to the garden, to see the garden and the railroad way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's amazing that they would keep that running for this long a time,
Trust me.
which is good on their part.
A lot of us are surprised.
And being surprised is right. So, have they done anything different or added anything new to it?
We have a few buildings that were rebuilt. Some of our buildings got burned down.
How did that happen?
The barn caught on fire in
okay.
Kentucky.
Okay.
We have a new Statue of Liberty. There was towards the end of last year, there was a woodpecker that fell in love with our old Statue of Liberty.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, a bird? Gee whiz. That had to be very interesting.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm glad to hear that everything is, to your knowledge right now, is running real good, and everything
That is correct.
that everything that is on display looks good, looks like it's, for anybody that hasn't seen it, be fresh as fresh can be. I have to try to make sometime between now and August, I gotta go out to the garden and see I haven't seen it in quite a while.
Yeah, you ought to come out. I work on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Okay. Well, hi everybody. I don't know what else you're going to talk about at the moment, but I'm Ron, and I'm a garden railroader, and I'm also the photographer for my club. And with things that are taking place, I gave them, I think 200 or 300 pictures to put on a website for people to see what Garden Railroad is. And the best part so far is this year, with weather, within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have my railroad up, which is unusual for me this early in time. So I'm excited about getting my railroad going. I got my garden halfway. Most of it's all in except for 3 ground spots, and that's the last that I'll be putting flowers in. And I just enjoy doing what I do, and I enjoy taking pictures of trains and artifacts of stuff that's been around for 100 years. So it's quite interesting. Back to you, Mr. Bryan.
Well, thank you, sir. And thanks for the plug.
What plug? What, for the garden?
Yeah.
Well, no matter how you look at what they do and to maybe enthusiasm people, but still the hobby is quite expensive. It's not a cheap hobby. And the thing that's exciting about the garden is the little kids seeing these trains.
Oh, definitely.
And some of the adults are amazed with the way in the space that they was given to put this layout. Some of the adults are overwhelmed. That would be just like some of the adults coming to my house and seeing what I have on my backyard. They're amazed, like, you do all this? And, it's not, I mean, I do what I do. I get a little bit of help because I've been told they don't want to see me crawling around on the ground. But if I want to get it done, I have to do it myself if I wait too long, winter will set in. Okay, now back to you.
It's okay. It has come to my attention by reading in my English Railway magazine that the railways, starting towards the end of last year, have started celebrating their bicentennial. Railroads have been in existence for 200 years. The first sustained commercial steam railway is the Middleton Railway, basically finished in 1812.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Older than the
So what type of
They had,
engine and cars that they have to move people from one point to another?
well, one of the, oh, we have several that they chose. Here's Stevenson's one of his cars, trains, steam engines. And it was called Catch Me If You Can.
That sounds very interesting.
But like we say, it started in 1804 when Penny Darren locomotive done by Richard Trevithick this is approximately what it looks like. You can probably get a couple good pictures.
So if they started in 1812, right?
Well, the official one end to the other.
Okay, so there had to been 18, 10, 11. They were building the steam engine and cars.
Well, the steam engine was built. See, he was a steam engineer. He made, they used the steam power to keep the water out of the wells.
Okay.
Out of the mines, I mean. And
so it took them about a year to build an engine.
Yeah.
Give or take, at that time for what they were building.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Robert Stevenson came into prominence with the rocket. But there were some very, very obvious engines that might have, would take your breath away. And the thing is, me and my movies. And
No.
I kind of like a couple of the silent actors. And one who was an affirmed rail buff. And he built a replica, actually two replicas, of the rocket that was made by, that Stevenson made. And his name was Buster Keaton.
He built I didn't even know that. Not that I'm amazed.
He had one of the men in the back shop,
And the bad thing is that those engines are no longer around.
Well, the rocket is,
Oh, it is?
but there used to be one at the Science and Industry Museum. And when the new president took over, she sold off several of the railway exhibits.
Now, that's par for the course.
And because she wanted to put it in the motorcycle display.
Okay. So,
Darn.
what are you looking for?
They have pictures in one of the magazines of Keaton with his locomotive.
Okay.
And they were used actually to make several movies.
Yeah, when I've seen some of those old movies with steam engines, it was quite amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's one called The Elephant.
Wow. Again, when you look at the picture and you see what's all involved, that's amazing. Especially with the stack.
Yes.
It's awfully tall for especially if they had to go under, if there were bridges or something or stuff in the way, or a tree that was overgrown a railroad line, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they made it simple, but it doesn't look simple compared to the newer steam trains that are being that we know about. So here you go. But that's quite interesting.
In fact, they had a sellout. They have a 3-day event that helps celebrate for the 200th celebration. And they sold out 30,000 tickets.
Really?
Yes.
It's amazing how people get interested in something. Or whatever the event is, it's like they have something to do. Oh, they got a festival. Let's go to the festival. That's how usually a lot of people do. Because there's so much, maybe exhibits and other stuff that people would maybe buy or sell. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have much to talk about tonight.
No, we don't.
A thing that I've noticed talking about railroads and railroad crossings, depending on where you're at the time, they're putting these in the center of the roadway, depending on the width of the roadway, these barricades so that people, when the gate is down, that they don't decide, oh, I'm going to go around the gate. So they've kind of like put these plastic barricades in the middle of the road. And I think if they do a little more of that, other places that have open space, not unless they put, depending on where the width of the road and the railroad is, that they have gates on both sides of the track. But I still think they should have the barricades in the middle. That way it would definitely stop
That is true.
these people from thinking, I can beat the train, which, I mean, even if they put these cement barricades like they use for construction, I would have no problem with that, because that way you'll be patient and you wait your turn to let the train go through and you get to your place safe, So that's my opinion, that they should do a little more of putting these barricades in the middle of the roadway, so that even if there's just a gate on each side where somebody can think they can swing around the gate, I don't buy that. So that's my opinion, that they should do a little more of that. I don't think it'd be that much of a costly situation. Okay. What else, Mr. Bryan?
I 100% agree with you on what you just said. To be honest with you, driving today is worse than it ever has been. You go down, I use Irving Park Road to go from here where I'm on Ottawa all the way out to River Road. And these damn punks, and that's exactly what they are, they drive with their hats turned backwards, and they get a hold of that steering wheel and they go like hell. Today I had to go out to River Road and Irving Park Road, and there was a guy that passed me up. So help me God, it's amazing he didn't blow me off the road. And the street that I live on here in Norwich, there is one guy that he goes faster down this street than a bullet shooting out of a gun. The other day I was sitting on my front porch, and whoom, and he's gone. You don't even know what color car he's got. And I don't know where in the hell the police are, but it seems like here lately, within the last year or two, they just drive like crazy, and it's scary. As I mentioned to you before, gentlemen, that this past week I lost my oldest cousin, and she was involved in some kind of a very serious automobile accident out in the suburb where she lives. And it's scary. I tell you, at the age of 87 years old, I'm scared to walk down the front steps of my house, to walk to the truck, get in and drive. Even though we go to Jewel on Cumberland Avenue or Buteras on Montrose, or even to go out to Schiller Park, it's scary because you don't know if you're going to come back home alive or not. And they pass you up. There was a car a couple of days ago that passed me up in the driving lane. Irving Park Road between Cumberland and River Road, they got a passing lane for cars, for no parking. Cars to park. And they go down that piece of road like there's no tomorrow. And it's scary. It's very scary to know. And these barricades that you're talking about, that is the best thing they can do to slow these punks. And that's all they are. We got one that lives not too far away from my house here. At 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he speeds up and down the alley behind our house, up and down the street here, and I don't know why the neighbors and why the police don't get this punk and lock him up. It's ridiculous.
You're a good sound effector person there, I tell you.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and Oscar, the young lad that lives with me, who takes care of me, says, "Hey, John, did you hear the punk going down the street?" Yes, it does, because it wakes me up. It isn't the airplanes that wakes me up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I've got him. And it's just ridiculous that there's people like that are out there driving recklessly, and I give them credit for putting up barricades to hold these punks from driving.
Well, that's a different issue, John. That I'm talking about railroad crossings. And I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But because we hear so much about people trying to beat the railroad.
Yes, that's right.
And not that I have any kind of compassion, but no matter how many times between news people and other people talking about serious accidents,
Yes,
it goes, no matter who we are, we're human beings.
that's right.
We don't want to be told what to do and how to do it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, I don't know. Yes, it is scary to a point, and then sometimes it's like, why do I have a driver's license?
yeah.
But then again, then I would like for you and for any of us that are seniors,
Yeah.
then we got to depend on somebody to take us somewhere.
Yeah,
And then that's another issue that we don't want to go into.
That's exactly right. I agree with you 100%.
But I'm just saying that they talk about issues, and they talk and they talk and they talk until they're blue in the face, and they don't resolve the problems. Some of them they do, some of them they do. The same issue is whatever street, highway. I mean, within less than a 2-hour period from 5 o'clock this evening, there were 2 big accidents. And, when you're not there, you don't know how the heck what took place.
Yeah,
Who's driving like a bat out of hell, like you say?
yeah.
I mean, I go to Joliet every so often to pick up my son from his trucking, where he has to drop his truck off. And I stay in the right lane, and I do the speed limit and that. But it's ridiculous. They have no respect.
No.
And, even in construction on 290, they go crazy.
Yep.
They don't pay attention. I mean, our eyes are all over the place.
Yep.
But, it just...
Yep.
I hear what you're saying, and...
I can't agree with you more.
I mean, if at that time of the morning, if somebody like that is going down your alley like a bat out of heck and making a lot of noise, the entire neighborhood should be calling 911.
That's right.
So their phones are going out of whack
Yeah.
for the complaint that's going on.
Yeah.
And you would, I mean, I realize you only have X amount of people, but still...
Well, what good part of it is there's no respect for anybody anymore.
Well,
it's all for me and the heck with you.
I mean, here's another, to say an example, and because I live in the city where we have one-way streets going either direction, and then depending on how the streets are marked, you might go 2 blocks before you have a stop sign. They don't even respect the stop sign.
That's right.
They don't respect the stop sign.
You are 100%
So
correct.
if they wanted to, whatever. Oops. that they should have cops on the corners of these side streets.
Yep.
They'd make them fortune with,
Yep.
or else they would know that's another issue. But
Well, like I said, there's one punk that, and I'll call him a punk right to his face, because I tell you, I worry. I mean, we thank God there's only a few little kids on the neighborhood and on this street tonight.
I hear what you're saying, John, but you got to be careful today because at one time, yes, you could call another person a punk or whatever you wanted to call them. Now,
Yep.
to agree or disagree, if he didn't like what you said, what does he do? He pulls out a gun and shoots you.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's best to keep. I mean, I'm not saying it is right, but it's like keep your mouth
Yep.
shut.
I know.
I mean, it's
That's
and you gotta live, and you can't be worried. I mean, I sit on my front porch and I watch the cars go down my street
Yeah.
and people walking. So I mean, it's not like I'm scared. I go places.
yeah.
I mean, if I was paranoid about what's going on throughout the thing, I'd give up my car.
Yeah.
I would dig a hole and bury myself. But we're getting off the subject.
I tell you, even today, this afternoon, after I got done setting everything up for the broadcast there tonight, Oscar wanted to go to Jewel over on Lawrence and the Cumberland, and I tell you, I get scared, and going down Irving Park Road between Cumberland and River Road and Silver Park, it is scary. I tell you, they pass you up on the right, and they drive like a shot out of a cannon, and there is no Cook County Police or no Silver Park Police anywhere around there. Today was the first time that Oscar and I saw Cook County Sheriff Police going down Irving Park Road. And I don't know, like I said, between these punks with these loud mufflers and this reckless driving and the airplanes that you have to listen to, oh my God, it's like living in hell. And
see, you're a different era of how you're looking at things. Where I come out of an era where I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't let things bother me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting with Doug yesterday on my stairs, and we had planes going from the airport going southeast. So, I mean, quit your bitching about the friggin' airplanes, because I live at Six Corners.
Yeah.
John, I get the same noise you get.
Yeah.
So there's no difference.
Yeah.
It's the same that the people that live down that are closer to the airport, how that all works. They knew where they were moving.
Yeah.
They knew what was going on.
Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, it is what it is, and I don't let it bother me.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay, there's the flight pattern. I mean, even if I sit on the back,
Yeah.
the flight pattern is what it is.
Sometimes it gets awful disgusting.
Well, yeah,
At
it gets
5:30, 5:45 in the morning, and you're woken up by airplanes.
Well, I don't have, but I just don't let things
Yeah,
bother me.
I try not to either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to you,
Yeah,
but it just, that's why I live alone,
Yep.
because I can't handle stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well.
Sorry, John.
Well, that's okay. We'll just get back to the barricades again, but I agree with the railroads, what they're trying to do.
I mean, Franklin Park is the best example with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I've seen that in another couple other areas and then I'm going, wow, okay, if they can do it there, why can't they do it all over?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they put these barricades, or whatever you want to call them, even for the bike paths.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another issue that
Yeah.
we won't. But I mean, but let's put it this way. Yes, they're spending the money to try to keep people safe. And I mean, look at yesterday in Caldwell Golf Course. The jerk with his car and hit a man on the golf course for some reason. Nobody knows what the deal was, but he was driving like crazy on the golf course because they didn't have barricades at a certain spot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody can say what they want to say about, well, the cost of this, the cost of that.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, they look at things, oh, nothing's going to happen. And then something happens. And then again, how fast do they take care of the problem? So, I mean, that's okay. We've made our point.
Okay.
Right, Mr. Bryan? What else do we have to talk about?
Nothing.
Nothing. So I guess we can, now that John and Ron made a...
Oh,
I have nothing else to think about. That I realize with the railroads and transportation, you know,
and the thing is, what people, if you listen to some of the arguments, a lot of the people are going, oh yeah, why isn't the railroad going up, putting out all the money for it? Because road service is helping pay too.
it's the bad part about all this with transportation is that we're so used to getting into our cars to go from point A to point B, and there's not a lot of transportation that, depending on how our neighborhood is, that we could walk to the corner to catch a bus to go to a store. But then you got, you know, depending on how much you're going to buy, that's a lot of stuff you're going to carry from the store to the bus and then back down your block to your house. So that's why we have so many cars on the street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was coming here tonight at Forest Preserve Drive in Irving, they blocked the intersection. I mean, they had the light, and they go, oh, we can keep going, but they blocked the intersection because of the way the light timing is there. So, I mean, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. You know, I mean,
That is true.
you know, one time you used to have buses and everything on different streets that you could go from, you know, back then you caught the bus. You went and did things. Now it's, but then if you go somewhere, it's the parking that gets you. You can't win.
You can't win for losing.
That's right. Okay, now that I've been on my soapbox,
You and me both.
person that didn't talk for a long time, now all of a sudden he's talking.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So here's your diesel.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be calling it.
Yeah, we're going to call it. Well, that's about it tonight. As you can see, we had some good discussions going on.
Maybe we'll get our friend Doug back.
Oh yeah, well, he should be coming back pretty soon. Because he said he'd be back at the end of the school year. So that should be maybe next month he'll be back with us.
Okay.
It all depends on when the school year ends. Definitely.
I believe it's already been ending. It's
But I believe by July we'll see him again.
no, you'll see him maybe in June.
Yeah.
We just got to remind him that
what the date is going to be.
What the date's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's catch the train.
Okay, as soon as I can get up, we'll get to going. Oh, God.
Well, as the train pulls into the station, come to an end of another episode of What We Think. And hopefully we'll get back on track and have a really good one.
Good night.
Good night from everybody.
Good night, Gracie. You turn me off.
You have been listening to Chicago Junction on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Wednesday, May the 14th, the year 2025. Chicago Junction was pre-recorded and directed by John DeVita, and a special thanks to executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, Mr. John Chicanta. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Wednesday, May the 14th, the year 2025. Until next month, thanks for listening and be safe.